we move on to discuss Postecoglou and whether he's been too stubborn this season. As we'll preview later on in the segment. We will preview Tottenham's game against West Ham. And regarding Postecoglou, it's the old. He has that philosophy that honestly a lot of top managers have, and I hear this from a lot of top managers. They don't. Top managers don't have plan Bs. Their plan B is to make plan A even better, and they don't like changing their system no matter what. But there is a fine line when you're down to 9 men and you're playing and you have players and your back line is at the at the halfway line, and you don't have the ability to get any sort of pressure on the ball, and you're playing suicide football. There is fine lines there, and Postecoglou does come under criticism sometimes because of just naturally that the way they play, they are open, they can leave themselves susceptible to quick counters, goals against the run of play. We've seen so far this season, to start off their season, they had an issue in terms of not, dominating games, but not taking advantage, lacking that cutting edge, and in return, not being able to take advantage of those opportunities. They come the other way, and they take advantage through goals against the run of play because of how high the back line is and how open that they are. So there is that part about it where you could question it sometimes. But look, at the end of the day, when you look at Tottenham and how they play, the things that you would be critical over a manager, you can't really be critical because they're doing the right things. They're playing great football. They're good to watch. They're dominating games. They're just not taking advantage when the opportunities come. When the opportunities come, they're lacking that cutting edge. And at the end of the day, could you really blame Postecoglou for that? Is Postecoglou the one to blame for the lack of cutting edge? He can't be the one that's finishing it. He can't be the manager out. He's not the player out there that's telling them, the right decision. He can't make the decision for them in the final third to play the right ball, to put the right weight on the ball, to be in the right area, to take advantage of a rebound. All that stuff, that, a lot of it, the Tottenham's issues, especially from earlier this season, I wouldn't blame them because all the things it's actually frustrating if you're looking at it from Postecoglou's perspective, sitting on the sideline, because all the things that you can control as a manager, the way that they play, the movements, the tactical approach, all the things that you can control as a manager. They're doing really, really well. They're playing really, really good football. They're getting numbers forward. They're playing high-flying football, high intensity. They're in the right places to create opportunities. It's just they're not creating enough clear-cut opportunities. They're not taking advantage of their opportunities. They're conceding on set pieces. It's just little tidbits. If you're sitting there watching it, you would be really, really frustrated if you're the manager. So from that aspect, I feel some sympathy for Ange Postecoglou, because I think all the things he can control, he's been relatively been able to control it, and they've played some good football. But there is that fine line. In certain periods, I think the Tottenham players, and I don't know if it's a player thing or a manager thing, but they lacked a little bit of awareness. There's certain periods where you're under some pressure. It's okay to put the back line 5, maybe 10 yards back, just to allow yourself to play out of the initial pressure and then ease your way back into the way that you want to play. Sometimes they lack that ability to just get out of the situation that they're in. You see in that Brighton Tottenham game, once they concede that first goal, Tottenham, and it goes to 2-1, you know, where's the, where's the understanding from Tottenham? Okay, now we're under a little bit of pressure. They're really piling it on. Let's drop the back line 5 to 10 yards and let's ease off the press and let's just try to get back in control. And once we get a little bit of control of the ball, yet again we can go back to the way that the original plan. But they don't have that. They don't have that to them. They don't have that understanding in that moment to get out of the situation that you're in. And one would say that's the manager has some culpabilities there. The others will say that's a lack of leadership amongst the team, because I know in teams with those real captains, they'll tell their holding midfielder, just stay right here, stay right next to me, don't move. They'll yell out to their to the back line, everybody drop 5-10 yards. Whoever the captain is, whoever the leader is, they'll instruct the players. And then so maybe that one will blame the manager, one will blame that. I think that's been an issue. But overall though, I think Postecoglou was a really, really good manager, was really, really good quality in terms of how he plays. I think what he's done with Tottenham were a team that was really dreadful to watch in the past few years before Postecoglou came in. For a while now, they've been a really dreadful team to watch, and it's just been, now Tottenham is a fun team to watch. And last year they had that really good start to the season, couldn't really take advantage of it, and get into the top four, fell a little bit at the end. But again, they lack that depth, and the way that they played, players were eventually going to get tired. But I think overall, though, going back to Postecoglou, I think he's a really, really good manager. And I think he's a manager that Tottenham, quite frankly, are lucky to have. Because I feel like he could be a manager of a real team competing. He has that quality to him. I just think the players are not at the ability to fight for Premier Leagues because, they're Tottenham. But let's go back to this game, Tottenham taking on West Ham. Interesting game. Tottenham, they had that bad start to the season, but lately they've recovered, and then they had that really bad loss right before the the international break, where they conceded 3 goals in the span of 18 minutes and squandered a 2-0 lead in that second half to lose to Brighton 3-2. As far as West Ham, okay start to their season. They're sitting 12th, 8 points after 7. I think I think Tottenham are going to dominate this game in terms of chances created, in terms of possession, in terms of control of the game. I think this game will be played in Tottenham's half. Playing the game at home as well at Tottenham Hotspur Stadium is also going to help them. The thing is, can Tottenham be clinical? If Tottenham are clinical, Tottenham will have space, because West Ham can be an open team and can be very easy to slice up, especially if you have quality to be able to slice them up. And I do think Tottenham have the quality. They have the way that they play. They'll be able to get in positions to create those opportunities. And I think lately they're cutting edge, and they're clinical, and their clinicalness has gotten a lot better. So I believe it's clear cut for me. I think Tottenham are the favorites. I think they will win this game, and I think they're just better.